Sitting with me in the sunshine as the music plays and the festivities take place, Michael Vaughan, the former England captain, and also Prakash Wakanka. It is a very colourful scene, I have to say. As we went to breakfast this morning, Michael and I were daubed in paint powder. Prakash, you arrived a little late on parade for breakfast, so dare I say it, Michael and I are looking a little holier than thou. Tell us what Holi's about first and foremost.
Well, you know, this festival is actually, as you said, it marks a change of season primarily. But there are two very interesting and different legends associated with it. One is on the previous night, that's last night, in the north of India and the north central part of India, you would have had a fire being burned with old things, wood, but all the old stuff that you want to throw away. So it's about rejuvenation, it's about burning all the evil, getting rid of all negativity, all of that stuff. And in that part of the country, that fire then settles, and in the morning, some of the ash is taken as sort of an offering, if you will, mixed along with all the other colors and things that are used for the play, and then people play with it. And now, of course, because of Bollywood, even in parts of southern India where Holi was never really that big, it's become a festival. It's like everything else. I mean, you know, anything that Bollywood does becomes national, maybe even arguably global. So there's a huge amount of attraction to Holi for people both within India and elsewhere, and people just have a great time. The traditional drink, by the way, and this will interest you, is a type of, well, I don't want to use the word, but it's a type of thing that helps you get a little bit high. It's rolled into a little ball, and in almond-infused milk, it's kept overnight, and then you have copious quantities of it during Holi, so that you just, you know, you're in a state of semi-consciousness, if you want to call it that. And so it goes from just the pure flowers at one end, which is purest, to all the way where you have a certain amount of, you know, heavy heads, if you will.
Well, there you go, Vaughan. I feel educated.
Well, I feel like I've been let down because I've not had one of those drinks.
Yeah, it's called Bhan, and we should get you some.
I'm looking over at the celebrations and just having a look to see where the drinks are, but it's such a lovely vibe, isn't it?
This is a very posh, very organized, very sensible version of it, Michael.
What Henry hasn't let on to is that my colourful place came from entering breakfast, where I was greeted by three lovely young ladies putting all the colour on my face. Henry actually got doing his park run this morning.
I went on a Holi park run first thing down Marine Drive, and it was there was a group of people, and they'd just finished. They were having some snacks, samosas and things, and they absolutely bombarded me with the paint powder. So there we go. So I tried to wash it off without much success. But yeah, what a place, what an occasion, and we build up to what should be an incredible couple of semi-finals. I mean, we'll get on to England against India at the Wankhede shortly, but South Africa against New Zealand, Michael, South Africa have been brilliant, 7 out of 7.
Yeah, I mean, they're a high quality side. They obviously got to the final in the Caribbean. They were close to beating India in that final in Barbados, didn't quite get over the line, but they look ready. I think the World Test Championship final victory has just given their cricket more so. What was a bit more? What's happening here, Prakash? Seems to be more noise. What's going on there?
Oh, they're now throwing flowers in colour from the balcony upstairs.
Oh, nice touch. That's the way. And the party's off and running and will continue, no doubt, throughout the day. But the South African side, to me, they look ready. You know, whether they'll do enough to win 2 games to win the trophy, but I do think that World Test Championship final victory at Lord's against Australia has just given them that boost. They've got the first major trophy. You know, you look back to India when they didn't quite get over the line in the 50 over World Cup here in India. They played the pure game right to the final, had one blip and didn't quite get the trophy. And that's the only fear I think for South Africa, is that in T20 cricket you're only really, 3 or 4 or 5 overs away from having a poor night, but also 3 or 4 or 5 overs away from having a good night. It's that close, T20 cricket. I would say that New Zealand will have to play a little bit better than they did against England in Sri Lanka, but completely different pitch. I looked at the game, India versus the West Indies at Calcutta just a couple of nights ago, and I think the toss was hugely important. I think chasing clearly is a great option, and it could come down to who wins the toss and chase. It could win that game.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating, and the winner will play England or India. Prakash, come on, we've had a couple of days to digest what we saw in that game against the West Indies in Kolkata. We've made the journey to here in Mumbai. I mean, what's the feeling about this game on Thursday?
Henry, we've had this conversation so many times. My answer is going to be very predictable. The reality is, can India win it? Yes. What does the record say? There's nothing between England and India in T20 World Cups and in overall T20. So one match separates the two teams in terms of wins and losses. Both places today, India just with their nose in front with one game, and therefore it's going to be a absolutely brilliant game in my view. I worry about 1987 way back when Gooch swept us out of the World Cup. That was the 50 over World Cup. But of course, the reality is also that playing at the Wankhede Stadium, so many of these England players, Jos Buttler in particular, who's not been in good form, but this could be the day when he finds that form. And that small ground, they know the conditions well, they know all the teams know each other very well because of all the IPL cricket they play. So I think there's going to be no mystery in it. In Mumbai, the dew can be a factor, but at this time of year, I'm hoping it won't be as much. And therefore, I think it will be a very, very close game. It just comes down to, like Michael said, are there going to be a couple of big overs here, a couple of bad overs there, and that will decide who goes through.
Michael, the Jos Buttler question, England will play him, there's no doubt about that, but his form has been wretched.
Yeah, I mean, you look at his record over the last 4 ICC events. I think it's now 26 innings and just 150, and that 50 came against the USA. A return of those numbers for such a great player is remarkable, really. But the one thing I say about Jos Buttler is a big game player. And if you were ever going to back a player to come back into form, there's two things. I mean, big game player, so he'll have that mindset of knowing that he's done it in big games before. And also the Wankhede's been a good ground for him. You know, he's had some great scores here, whether it's for England or in the IPL. So he's going onto a pitch that should suit his style of play. I've watched him back closely, and I just think he's playing too technical. I can see that he's looking at his stance, and clearly you always look at your technique when you're not kind of feeling as good as you have done. But you know, I always think Jos is better when he's a hand-eye player. You know, just stare at the ball right in the middle of the ball and just react to the deliveries. And the shots that he hasn't been playing so far in the World Cup, and it's probably because of the pitches in Sri Lanka, are the ramp shots. And I think when Jos retires, whenever that may be in a few years' time, I think if you say, you know, what is the Jos Buttler shot? We'll all go, play the scoops and the ramps. I think this pitch will suit that shot. Yeah. You know, and I think if there's ever a ground where he can bring out a ramp or two early to the seamers and get himself up and running, because the one thing I say about that shot is to play that shot, you have to stare at the ball right onto the middle of the bat. So that means he's really studying the ball onto the middle of the bat. And I always look at Jos and think when he's playing well, he brings those shots out early, he gets fielders behind the wicket, and then it opens up more opportunity down the ground. From what I've seen so far, he's been thinking about down the ground first and behind the wicket second. I think he's a better player when he thinks behind the wicket first and then down the ground, because it opens up more avenues of success. So a big game for Jos, but I think it's been proven in this World Cup that it's almost been a World Cup where the opening partnerships for all teams have not been as important in the past, because most teams are packing the bat until number 8. So the opening partners have all been sent out to go ultra aggressive to try and get off to a flyer, and if lose a couple of wickets, they generally have an insurance policy, and then they have more depth to the batting with players that can come in at 8 or 9 and strike. So I wouldn't be saying that England desperately need an opening. It'd be helpful to get an opening stand, obviously, but it won't be the necessarily difference between winning and losing, because they've won so many games in this World Cup without that opening partnership flying. But you think to win a semi and a final, and someone like Buttler or Salt will have to have at least 1 or 2 innings between them in the next 2 games, you would think.
Prakash, I wonder if India are going to be more worried about Will Jacks, who's the leading middle order run scorer in the tournament. And as Michael says, it's teams down the order actually that have been doing the damage. Will Jacks has scored 191 runs in the middle order across 7 matches at a strike rate of 180 odd. So
four player of the match awards already for the performance he's had. And I think yesterday he said something really, really lovely. I enjoyed reading it in the paper this morning. He said, if I don't have to do anything in the semi-final, that'll be perfect, because that means, you know, we've won the game. He has been remarkable. And I think, like Michael said, so many of these performances come around 6, 7, 8, 9, where the fag end of the batting innings has suddenly been a boost. And of course, Jacks with his bowling is also bringing stuff in. Who knows, maybe if they're if India still play with two left-handers in the top three, maybe he's got a job to do up front as well. Who knows?
What would India want in terms of England's batting lineup? Would they want to see Buttler in the side?
Oh yeah. I think they'd be wary of Buttler. Absolutely. I mean, I think Indian players have seen enough of Buttler to realise that he can have a moment. He's only 10 or 12 balls of finding a little bit of rhythm, a little bit of form, a few boundaries, and we've seen Buttler so many times that he can get you an 80 off 30, 35 balls, which can win you a game of cricket. So yeah, they'll be wary of Jos Buttler. I look at India and think, what will they go with their bowling attack? Because someone like Kuldeep Yadav has had so much success against England in the past, and he hasn't played yet. Will they think of playing Kuldeep Yadav and potentially dropping a Shivam Dube, who's their insurance policy, down the back end and playing one extra bowler? Funny, and I don't think it's happened too many times, practice, in the history of England versus India, but I think England have got a better spin attack than India have. Chakravarti's been got in this World Cup. Akshar Patel's a very consistent left-arm spinner, but in Dawson, Rashid and Will Jacks, you would say that trio has been the best trio in the tournament in terms of spin, and I'll be very interested to see what the pitches at the Wankhede. Generally it's a good pitch, but the pitch against the West Indies where England lost, the West Indies spinners caused a bit of damage to the England batters, so it's kind of a funny situation that we find ourselves, that England batting, you would want to target them with spin, but India got the kind of the temptation or the bravery to play a Kuldeep Yadav for either one of their batters, or dare I say it, for someone like Arshdeep Singh. It'd be intriguing for me at the toss to find out what the combination England, I know, will probably bring in Jamie Everton for Rehan Ahmed here at the Wankhede. Even though Rehan did so well in the last game, I think they'll go back to a seamer on this kind of service. But it's more the debate of what India will go with rather than what England will go with. I think England's kind of in the bank. Well, India, I still think there's a debate of whether Kuldeep plays or not.
We've all seen the Indian coach, isn't it? If he could have his way, he'd have 11 batters in the team, you feel, because he just wants to pack the batting all the way down. And as it is with Bumrah, Arshdeep and Varun, the bottom three aren't really going to do much with the bat if they're ever asked to do. So I suspect that, like you're saying, Wani, it's going to be a toss-up between, are they going to go with just Bumrah and Hardik in terms of seam, and then God help India if Shivam Dube has to bowl much. But we'll have to wait and see. I can't see Kuldeep playing much as I would love to see him play. It's the big mystery. We talked about it in the Test series all the way through in England. England seem to not like to see him play, and India seem to oblige every time. I don't see it very different in the semi-final either.
I would play Kuldeep Yadav against England.
I know.
I really will.
Maybe you've got to give Gautam a call.
I actually haven't got his number, but I just think he's a wonderful bowler who has had so much success against England in the past in the semi-final. Surely you'd want someone that could damage. You look at Harry Brook, who is the major threat for India. He's in fantastic form, and that move to number 3, many were crying out for him to face more balls. Why he was wasted and leaving himself at number 5 was beyond me, but now he's at number 3. He's the one player that I look at and think, he's got genius in him. That innings that we saw against Pakistan was spectacular, and he can win a game on his own. And he'll want to score, he'll want to play in the way that he's telling his team to play, which is this fearless approach. Go out there and really take the opposition on. And at number 3, he can dictate that, and he can lead the way for the rest of the players. And this is the way that I want you to play under pressure in a big semi-final. His first few deliveries are going to be intriguing, because if he can come out and play one or two of those, that shot that he flicked over mid-wicket against, was it off Matt Henry, was absolutely a joke of a shot. If he can get a couple of shots away, particularly against someone like Jasprit Bumrah, that is going to be a big play in the semi-final.
Well, of course, it is the sides that have won the last 2 editions of this tournament, with India winning in the Caribbean 2024, England winning in 2022, beating India comprehensively, 10 wickets in Adelaide in the semi-final. And England's player of the tournament that year was Sam Curran. In just a moment, we'll be hearing from the England all-rounder.
The TMS Podcast from BBC Radio 5 Live.
Right then, a couple of days out from the T20 World Cup semi-final involving India and England here in Mumbai. Let's hear from the England all-rounder Sam Curran. He's been chatting to Matt Henry from BBC Sport.
Sam, we're 2 days out from a World Cup semi-final against India in Mumbai. See by the smile on your face, what are the feelings? Is that excitement? Is it nerves? What do you think before that? Yeah, excited. What an opportunity to play, I guess, the hosts in their home ground. Obviously, Wankhede, a very iconic stadium. We're extremely excited. Obviously, a couple of days training now, so yeah, kind of what dreams are made of, really. Semi-final of the World Cup against India. I guess it doesn't really get that much bigger. I guess it's hopefully we turn up on the night and have a great game.
Yeah, it could be loud. The team prepared for that? Do you talk about that sort of thing?
Yeah, it's not going to be quiet. I think it's pretty obvious that the crowd's going to be epic, and what an opportunity for us to kind of come out here. And we've played a lot of cricket in India as well, so we know what to expect from them. And I guess a really good team. There'll be pressure all round, so I guess, yeah, huge opportunity, and hopefully it comes good for us.
Yeah, England have played India in the last 2 T20 World Cup semi-finals. Is that something you speak about as a team?
Not massively, I don't think. Obviously, it's a new tournament. We've come, obviously, a different journey this World Cup. A couple of, I guess, going to Sri Lanka and a bit in India as well. So we've managed to win games from scenarios that we probably shouldn't. And then there's also games that we've just had really good, everyone just chipping in. So hopefully we can come with that semi-final, that almost perfect game when we need to. And I guess, yeah, we've had success against India. They've had success against us as well. So should be a cracking game.
Yeah, that 2022 semi-final, you beat India by 10 wickets in Adelaide. You played in a better England performance than that?
Well, I guess if we're searching for a perfect game, I guess that's something we could hopefully model our game on. Obviously, that time when we chased down, I think it was 180 odd in Adelaide, was great memories. I guess then obviously they beat us in the West Indies. So yeah, I guess we take confidence. We've been playing really good cricket and finding ways to win. And hopefully, I think everyone's been, I guess, saying that we haven't played our perfect game, and what an opportunity to do that on Thursday night.
Yeah, what are your memories of that night in Adelaide?
Just winning by 10 wickets, to be honest. I think we obviously were bowling first, and the way Joss and Halesy played was amazing, and we took huge confidence from that and ended up winning the tournament. So this T20 cricket, we know come Thursday night, it just takes a couple guys and a strong fielding performance, a couple guys with the ball, a couple guys with the bat, and we know what we're capable of, so that's why we're extremely excited. And like I said, when you're a young kid and you think of where do you want to play, it's probably in a stadium like this against India in front of the world. So what a great time to be involved in this team, and fingers crossed it's our evening.
Yeah, as you've said, you've played in India a lot, you've played against India a lot. What are the keys to beating India in India?
I guess in T20 cricket, it's obviously, I guess, staying nice and calm. We know the crowd's going to be huge, the pressure is going to be there for both teams. I think we both know how we play, so it's kind of like we play a lot with the Indian guys in the IPL, they play with us, so I guess that's a huge opportunity within itself. They've obviously had a similar, a different journey to the World Cup semi-final than us. We played in Sri Lanka, and I guess surface are a little bit different. We've also played here, so whatever surface gets thrown at us, hopefully I feel like we've been adapting extremely well in terms of what the conditions are, and I think against India you've got to adapt pretty well. We know they're a very strong side, so but on the night, and I guess with our plans and the way we're going to be nice and positive, and I guess hopefully it's enough to beat them, and they will also have their plans against us. So I think 2 huge teams and a lot of good T20 players in those sides. So yeah, like I said, it's just a lot of excitement in our group.
Yeah. Does it matter, or is it a worry that you've been in Sri Lanka? India, I've been to Sri Lanka once in this tournament, but I've had a good run in India now. Is that a concern?
No, I think it's a positive. I think like the surfaces we've played on have been so different. We've played on some really good ones, some turners, some bit of dew, no dew. So I think we've covered most of our kind of challenges, and kind of everyone's been saying we haven't played that perfect game, and I think the main thing we all care about is that we managed to win, and we're in a semi-final 3 from 3 and that's Super 8, so we're very high on confidence. And I guess it's semi-final cricket, it's kind of, there's no going back now. It's kind of, we turn up on the night and give it everything, and hopefully it's enough.
Yeah, and you've mentioned all those close finishes you come through. Do I sense that you take confidence from that rather than being concerned that you'd let it get that close?
Yeah, I think winning is a habit in T20 cricket. I firmly believe that, and I think it's almost quite exciting that we haven't played that 225 with the bat and bowling a team out for 60 kind of thing. And there's a lot of guys in our team, such dangerous players. If we can all come good on that night, we'll be an extremely dangerous side to beat. So we're hugely confident. It's one of those nights where you go out, give it everything, and hope that it's enough. And I think we've fielded really well. I think we've gelled as a group, bowling group and batters as well. So we're very confident and obviously very excited to be taking on the hosts in their own home country.
Yeah, if it gets tight again and you're bowling last, it could be you personally at the death, couldn't it? You've taken those death overs. Is that something you look forward to?
Yeah, massively. I guess it doesn't get any bigger, and hopefully it doesn't come down to the 10 off 6 to defend, and hopefully we won nice and easily. But if it does, obviously be first one to put my hand up and try and win the game for my country. So that's extremely exciting. But I think for it to get to that stage, we've got to play that perfect game, and whether that's putting a big score on the board or chasing something down. I think we've got our plans. We're going to train really well the next couple of days, afternoon and evening sessions. So I guess it's get our preparation right and get excited.
Yeah. What are your processes when it gets tight and touchy? We had it here against Nepal, didn't we? You bowled that last over, 10 off 6, as you mentioned. What processes do you try and go through to get through that situation?
I guess for me, it's probably just visualizing, I guess, some of the players that I'll be coming up against. I've played against all of them in the IPL and things like that. So in terms of that, there's no unknowns about what to expect from the Indian team. We know their team extremely well. And I just train as though I'm in those situations, and same thing what you do at the bat, you think about which bowlers you're going to face and just kind of visualize and put yourself in those scenarios, and then I'm very excited. I'm kind of sat here with a lot of excitement. I played in World Cup semi-final, and to be playing India, like I've already said, is pretty special. So I guess whatever happens, I'm just hoping that we get that one run more than them on the night.
Yeah. And Harry, what's he like in those situations? You had the one here, the one's Italy, I think it was penultimate over, wasn't it? You got a couple of wickets there. What's he like when it gets really tight in those situations?
Yeah, really calm. Brookie's been great. Obviously new to the role in T20 stuff, and there's a lot of senior players around him that are helping him, and extremely calm, lets the bowler decide where he feels comfortable, field sets, things like that. So he's been great, and I'm sure on a night like Thursday night, when it's extremely loud, it's going to require a lot of calmness and kind of being very clear on how we want to attack them. And Brookie's backs his bowlers, and I guess that helps when you've got a captain who gives you that backing and belief that you can be the man. So he's been great.
Yeah. Have you spoken to Joss at all about, you mentioned him earlier, such a big part in 2022. He struggled in the last few innings, single figure scores. Is he someone that you would ever feel the need to go and give a tip to, or is he not that sort of person and you'd just let him sort it out himself?
Yeah, I'm very close to Joss. Obviously chatted with him quite a bit around, I guess, the way the tournament's gone and things like that. There's no doubting his ability. He's such a quality player, and there's no question he would love to have scored more runs. But I guess I'm a firm believer I'd much rather him in my team on Thursday night than in the Indian team, because when you've got quality players like that, they're bound to come good. So whether that's, even if it's not on Thursday night, I'd still much rather Joss Buttler be in my side than another team. So we firm belief that we'll come good, and him and Salty, the top of the order, can come and fly out the blocks here. It's normally a great wicket, and I think we've got full faith in Joss, and hoping that Thursday will be his night, because we just know such a quality player he's been for us.
Yeah. Confident you can win?
Absolutely.
Well, that was the thoughts of Sam Curran. Could be a very key player for England, Prakash, and somebody that knows the IPL well. And this is another point, though, isn't it? All of these players know these venues. It's not going to come as a surprise what it's all like.
Not at all. And I think we've talked about it often through the last few weeks, Henry. We know that Sam Curran and India have an amazing equation. He performs brilliantly against India and in India, whether it's IPL or any other form of cricket. So he will be a key part of it. I just feel that because England have found a way in difficult situations to consistently take that one extra step and get over the line almost every time, they are better for it. They haven't sort of just blown everyone away like in some ways South Africa have.
Or India did in 2023.
Or India did in 2023 in a 50-over World Cup. India have had the blip as well, that one terrible day in Ahmedabad. So I think both teams will fancy their chances. They both know there's nothing to choose really. It's about the performance on the day, the matchups, who's going to come out and play that inspired innings on either side or two, and that will determine who goes through. But I suspect the 12th man, which is the crowd, if England are able to, as Shukri Conrad said the other night in Ahmedabad, we are there to silence that crowd. If that happens, and if the crowd goes silent, I think England have won the game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether it's because of the drink I'm about to have for celebrating Holi, but I've just got a funny feeling about England. I have a feeling that they're on this nice ride from Sri Lanka. You know, you go to Sri Lanka early and play a few games before a World Cup in those conditions. Preparation was good. It's surprising that, and they played quite well. But we don't want to go back a few months, do we? But I just got a funny feeling about this England side. They seem to have found a way of winning, and that's really important. I think winning close games. I think the win against New Zealand, even though it was a bit of a dead rubber, to win in that chase, needing 43 off the last 3 overs, and for them to get over the line quite convincingly in the end, was a great effort. Clearly, they're going to have to play well and cope with the crowd and cope with the expectation. But you know, I just look at this Indian side. Whether they are just not playing great, or they're waiting for this moment to put in their best performance, time will tell. But I thought their fielding against the West Indies was as bad as I've seen it, and England's fielding has been absolutely exceptional. Hopkinson, the fielding coach, has come and done a wonderful job from what I can see. They just look really alert in the field. England, the Indian side, were really poor in the field. England's running between the wickets has been exceptional. So just small kind of percentage things that you can control yourself, which is fielding, attitude, running between the wickets. England seem to be doing very, very well, and if they can bring that on Thursday here in Mumbai and they get 1 or 2 of their firecrackers playing, a Harry Brook, a Josh Buttler, a Phil Salt, I like England's bowling. You know, I look at the bowling attack and think they've got everything covered. They've got great combinations, great variables, and I don't know why. And as I said, maybe it's happy holy, but I just got a funny feeling that England can get the job done here in Mumbai.
Prakash, take us inside the Wankhede Stadium and what it'll be like on Thursday night.
Oh, it'll be shaking. It'll be throbbing. That you can be sure. I mean, even for neutral games, we saw the Nepal game, for example. Boy, did those supporters come out and really shake that stadium up. It'll be an absolute riot in terms of people. They know if India do win or lose, this is the last time the Mumbai crowd is going to see India in this tournament. Much to the disappointment of many who don't want the big final to be in Ahmedabad, but want it to be in Mumbai or Calcutta or Chennai. But that's for another time. I think there will be a lot of support for India. But to Michael's point about fielding, India actually have 3, dare I say, almost passenger-like folks in that squad, right? Jasprit does the job with the ball. I don't think he's electric in the field. Varun Chakravarti, I think he's just got to get his head sorted out. He doesn't seem to be himself at all. And Arshdeep isn't exactly flash in the field either. So in a T20 game where every run is so critical, those 3 guys are going to be a handicap that India are going to have to make up with some brilliance somewhere else.
You think about that West Indies game. West Indies, a number of balls that went through legs on the boundary edge, a number of wides that were bowled. They could easily have won that game, West Indies.
Oh yeah, they were poor. I mean, India have a good day in the field. I reckon they restrict the West Indies to 160, and I guess that's the threat for England. If India come out and bowl the way that they did again, I thought they bowled nicely against the West Indians. They just didn't feel well enough. But India have got the skill set and the capabilities of blowing any team away, and that's the worry. You know, you go back to many other games. You go back to a game here a year or so ago when Abhishek got a big 100, got over 250, won by plenty. So you know that India have that in the locker. But you know, this England side just seems to be in T20 cricket. You look, they've made the last 5 semi-finals. So England know how to play T20 cricket at the highest level, and they've got a group of players that have played a lot now. I mean, the selection's been really good. You go back a year ago in the Champions Trophy, similar conditions, when Sam Curran wasn't there, Liam Dawson wasn't there. They went with all right-arm pace bowlers. You know, just the major spinner of Adil Rashid and nothing else really. They've got selection right. I think Sam Curran's been exceptional. I think Liam Dawson, just under the radar, rock solid performer. You know, he's just delivering. He bowls in the power play, bowls in the middle, bowls near the back end. He just knows his own game, and he's a player now that I think will be around the whiteboard team for a while. He's fit. There's no reason why he can't play, obviously, until the 50 over World Cup in 27 and beyond, because he's, you know, doing a nice job. He's bowling those underspinners, just skinning the ball onto the right-hander from around the wicket perfectly. And he's got the game awareness of what's required. So I think England have got the selection right. It's just a performance, and can they get a performance? I don't see India performing as badly in the field as they did against the West Indies.
No.
And I don't see them performing as badly as they did against South Africa with the bat. I think they've got their batting sorted. I think they've almost had that blip. So England will have to play a good game of cricket, but I do think England have got enough good players playing well enough to, I guess it'd be a shock. You'd have to say at this stage, Prak, that India would be just favourites because it's in Mumbai, home territory. India have just started to play a little bit better, particularly with the bat in hand. And I think that's where India will think that they can win more so than with the ball. Actually, I think they know that this powerful batting lineup that they have, it can really blow any seam in the world away on a given day. So that's the real fear for England.
Win the toss, presumably you want to chase.
I suppose both teams would probably want to chase, is my guess, unless of course England have a view of runs on the board, big semi-final, that logic. I think conditions and the prediction of dew will play a factor for sure. If at all there is going to be any dew, we'll know in the next couple of days when we see the ground in the evenings.
I wouldn't be worried about batting first though, Prax, because the West Indies, they got 195 against England and won quite easily. There was a bit of tweak. I go back to that 50 over World Cup here, where England, I think, against South Africa won the toss and decided to bowl in the afternoon, and South Africa got 4. And so batting first, you can actually get a big number. The pitch might get a little, but if you get bat first, you can easily get a 225, 230 score. That can obviously put you massively in the game. I agree. I think chasing will be the way that both captains want to go, but I don't think here is a venue that you lose the toss, you lose the game. I think you can still win the game batting first.
Yeah. It's a memorable day that against South Africa, not least because Jos Buttler, when he won the toss and elected to field first, said afterwards, "I didn't realise how hot it was going to be, despite being out there when it was very hot at the toss." But it was a World Cup that did not necessarily go England's way in so many ways. But who knows what it's going to be like on Thursday. One thing we do know is it's going to be noisy, it's going to be colourful, much like the rest of the day here in Mumbai. Prakash, we're not far from Marine Drive and all of the celebrations. Talk us through what the rest of Holi is going to look like around this city.
Well, I mean, look, where Holi will now be played is in two areas, basically. One in these large housing complexes where all the residents get together, and it's just an absolute ball that they have. And then on the streets, depending on where you are, if you go into the old city, into the crowded areas of central Mumbai, you will get drenched, you will get fed things, you will get things given to you which you drink at your own risk if you want to. But it's just going to be a day of festive fervor. Tomorrow morning you will see people going to work looking very different from what they were the previous evening. That I can assure you, because sometimes some of these colours don't come off that easily.
Yes, as I discovered this morning, trying to get the red paint off my face in the shower. So we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see what the day brings us, and the next couple of days, indeed, with the semi-finals, both getting underway 1:30 UK time. First up on Wednesday, it is the game between South Africa and New Zealand in Calcutta at Eden Gardens. Full commentary of that on BBC Sounds and 5 Sports Extra, and then England against India on Thursday. We're not expecting any rain. There are reserve days available, but we don't think that will be a factor. So we will wait and see what occurs. Who will be heading to the final in Ahmedabad on Sunday?